Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. Gino the Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. And today we are starting a new series. Yes, finally, a new series on this podcast network. This one is a ranking similar to our ranking of fantasies, but wait, it is not Final Fantasy games. It's a different type of game. We're going to be ranking Roguelike Deckbuilders. And joining me to do this dark deed, this tedious task, is one Braden Arbitrary Water Redacted. How are you doing? Welcome to Ranking of Roguelikes.
That's right. Hello, Gino. It's me, Braden Arbitrary Water Redacted. Have you ever been on a Steam and said, there are too many card games? How can I choose which one? Well, we have the solution.
Us. We're going to use science to figure out which of these roguelike deck builders is worth your time and is the best. The reason why you might be asking, how could you two simple gents do the task of ranking roguelikes? What makes you qualified to do such a task to rank roguelike deck builders? Well, Braden, what is my longest running streaming series that I've been doing?
You have the Deck a Day series, in which you play a run-based, often card-based game on a daily basis.
Yeah, Deck a Day Keeps the Doctor Away is my longest running thing that I stream. Britton, did you tune in last year for the Community Endurance Run, what I did?
I did.
I beat 14 of these things at the same time.
Yep.
And when I say at the same time, I mean literally I had a timer, and every 2 minutes, I would jump from one game to another. My computer almost lit on fire.
It was sick.
So yeah, I've played a lot of these. I have a lot of opinions on them and what makes them good. And so that's my qualification. Braden, what makes you qualified?
I have also played too many of these games. Thanks to the power of Humble Bundle and Fanatical and everything else, I am drowning in run-based video games built around deck building. You see, Gino, it was about 12, 13, 14 years ago when Dominion became very popular in the board game scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone said, what if we made that into a video game? What if we turned the concept of a Magic draft and we made that into a video game? And then Slay the Spire descended from on high and gave life to the card games.
Yep. It made the card games, the genre. If you have an indie art style that you want to use, if you have some ideas about cards and card games, this is the game you make now. This is pretty much the game you make. So just to mention, because Slay the Spire kind of started this gangster shit, we're not ranking Slay the Spire because it's the most. It's the OG of this. It'd be like ranking Super Mario, or just like Mario in platformers. This genre doesn't exist without that game. It almost goes without saying that game is good. It is very good. I don't know how it would fit with the games it inspired, but Slay the Spire, obviously, it's fault. It's Slay the Spire's fault that we're here today. It did this to me.
Please look forward to Slay the Spire 2 coming eventually.
Coming at some point. So before we get into ranking the roguelikes, I'll do the plugs and then we'll go over our scoring methodology for this feature. So you can get in touch with the show, deeplistenspodcast.bluesky.social. That's fun. We have a Blue Sky now. Deeplistens.libsyn.com. That's our website where you can use our comment sections to talk at us. And deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That's our email address if you wanted to write into the show, ask questions, etc. You can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. At the $1 tier, you get access to our Discord. At the $3 tier, you get access to the OG Soncast, which I believe you're watching Afro Samurai.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to watch Afro Samurai. I think that will probably be up within the next week.
Cool.
Because it's only 5 episodes and a movie.
Sure is.
Sam Jackson ain't cheap.
He's not. He's not cheap, and he is good. So that is our anime podcast that is exclusive for patrons. All right, so Braden, we've got 3 categories for how we're going to rank these games. Why don't you tell our dear listeners what they are?
Our very scientific criteria that we are ranking these games on with the scale of, do we want to do 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
1 to 5, because 1 to 10 is too much.
That's right. 5-point scales are the future. No half points. Don't be a coward.
No.
So we have deckability, which is how good is the action of building a deck? How meaningful is the deck? And how good can you deck with your deck? Can you make an interesting, unique build? Can you use drafted cards to struggle together in order to achieve victory?
Yes. How fun is the deck building part of this, the deckability? And that, you might think, oh, these are roguelike deck builders. Certainly the deckability must be high for all of them. No. Some of these games, the deck barely matters. Sometimes there's some sort of static skill element that will offset the deckability. Sometimes the deck building, turns out there's one efficacious way to play. And so there's not actually that much interest. It's just finding that and then doing it over and over again. So if there's a lot of creativity available in your deck building and skill in your deck building, you'll get a high score on deckability. If your game,
because I think you and I both appreciate when this genre gives you too many options rather than too few.
Yes, it is. There are some of these games that just don't have the card variety, or the balance is off, and there are just not as many available decks that will work. You can make decks, but the ones that will work look the same. Next category, next thing we're judging on.
Yes, it's rogueability, which is, of course, a measurement of how good this game is as a run-based ordeal. Is there enough content? Is there enough variety? Is there a reason to stick with this game long enough to beat it on whatever insane prestige difficulty they will inevitably throw at you?
Yes. And rogueability, is there reasons to do like multiple runs? Is it engaging over multiple runs? There's also the question of run. I always, in my feature, always say serving size.
Yes.
For this sort of thing. Some of these games will be like, you know what a run is? 3 hours. And some of these games will be like, you know what a run is? 30 minutes. And guess what? The ones with the 30-minute score, 30-minute runtime, that's going to have a higher rogueability score. If one run takes 2 or 3 hours, I'm sorry, it's hard to play multiple runs. Your ability to...
You are committing.
Exactly. To master this game will be seriously impeded by the runtime. So rogueability, is it fun to do multiple runs? Does this game lend itself to it? Is there a distinction between the runs? Like, is it meaningfully different as you go deeper and deeper into runs?
How many events are there, even?
Exactly. Are you seeing the same 10 events over and over and over again? Because these games all have events. Are there not enough artifacts? We'll cover that. And then what's the last?
Hope there are.
Last score.
And of course, the last one is heart.
Yes.
The heart of the cards. This is basically I would say it's a combination of like presentation, moxie, and our own personal biases.
Yes. Some of these games have the heart of the cards. Some of them have the spine of the cards, but they lack the meat of the cards.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they've got the bones of the cards, but not the heart. And we will call out. It would be very funny if we ranked it on 5 different organs.
Yeah.
With the highest being
the gallbladder of the cards.
Yep, the lowest being like the pancreas of the cards or the appendix of the cards.
Oh, you need the pancreas of the cards.
You do need the pancreas of the cards. You probably don't need the appendix of the cards, though.
No.
And I feel like true neutral is the bones of the cards.
Yes.
I'm gonna write this scale on the side here. We don't have to adhere to it,
Okay.
but let's go with our first game on this list. We've started in alphabetical order. We each picked
Yes.
5 games. So why don't we just work our way down?
And to
from
be
the top
clear,
the bottom?
there are currently 43 games on this list. And I haven't even added some of the more recent ones we've tried. So yeah, we each picked 5, and we're going to start with Alina of the Arena.
Yes, this one
which-
was my pick. So Alina of the Arena is a roguelike deck builder where you star as Alina. She is a little chibi lady who has been thrown into a combat arena. This uses hex-based combat and
Ooh.
also card-based gameplay.
You know how much I love hexes.
You love hexes. So the way that it works in Alina of the Arena is at the beginning you get to pick what type of character Alina is. Many of them seem to be Dark Souls-y in their nature. Like there's pyromancer and dagger person with bows. And then you start with 3 energy, as so many of these games do. Because Slay the
Yes.
Spire did this. And you play cards in order to do things such as move around the grid, attack enemies, knock enemies into other enemies. And then the kind of twist, besides the fact that you're on a hex-based grid and it's kind of a turn-based combat game, is that there's weapons and armor that you can equip to Alina that will augment her abilities. So there's some weapons that will, like the cards have a right-hand, left-hand mechanic.
Yes.
So some of your weapons will be two-handed, and they will the cards that do attacks will be empowered regardless of what hand they're in. Some of them, if you have a dagger in one hand and a hand axe in the other, you will get the hand axe's stats on things with your right hand and the dagger with the things with your left, et cetera, et cetera. So there's kind of a bit of a equipment mechanic going on. Have you played Alina of the Arena at all?
I played the demo.
Okay. I got it, I think, in a Humble Bundle at some point. And I would say from the deck ability perspective, it is probably like a 3 or a 4.
Yes.
You can draft a lot of different cards, but there are really archetypes. And when you pick your character at the very beginning of the run, they give you an artifact that kind of predisposes you to a certain batch of cards. Like when you're a pyromancer, I think you get energy back if you light things on fire, so you can cast more spells. When you are daggers, I believe bleed is the status effect that you want to gear towards. When you have big double-handed weapons, you want to be predisposed to getting a lot of fatigue in your deck, which are like in Slay the Spire, those cards that just take up junk in your
Junk
deck.
cards. Yeah.
Exactly. And that weapon is all about fatigue and then casting a spell that turns fatigue into damage and removes the fatigues from your deck. So like when you pick your character archetype at the very beginning of Alina of the Arena, you're kind of locking yourself into what you should be doing.
Yes.
And then there's fun,
Yeah. And
within that.
yeah, and to some extent the emphasis is on the tactics part of it.
I would say the deck ability is probably a 3. Like it's there.
I'll take your word for it.
It's there. Like it's just not. You should really be min-maxing, and when you pick your class, you know what you should be min-maxing. And there aren't a lot of avenues to successfully play different classes in my experience, and I played a good amount of it.
Okay, rogue ability.
Rogue ability, though, to your point, the combat part of it is pretty challenging. This is one of the harder of these games to wrap your brain around at first, I think, because it's actually like a bit of it's not an action game, but it's almost like, is it Through the Breach? That one with the robots? Into the Breach? Where you're kind of like playing chess almost with robots?
It's got a little bit of a chess puzzle element to it where it's about positioning and you can very transparently know what the enemies are going to do, which is a feature of most of these games. But the addition of a grid really makes that part more evident.
It's a lot more about this thing's going to attack me from this angle. I need to move around it so that instead of hitting me, it hits another enemy, or like I knock this enemy into another enemy. And when you knock them into each other, they can stagger each other or deal damage to each other. So it's a lot more about that. So I think the gameplay part
Yes.
is actually, it boosts the rogue ability up a little bit.
Yes. But you played a lot of this. How much stuff is there?
How much stuff is there? I definitely
Variety.
I felt like I had a good understanding about the different ways that I could play this game and the different styles each of the equipments had at some point. But I would probably say it was very enjoyable to play the different versions of it, and
All right.
finding the different classes and their styles was fun. So I would probably give it a 4 on rogue ability.
All right.
It's not the best in class, but it has definitely got some juice to it. And then heart. So I've put the rankings with 5 as the heart of the cards, 4 as the lungs of the cards, which is very, they're essential, but they're not, they're not the heart. Then 3, the bones of the card. Then working our way down 2, the gallbladder of the cards, and then the least consequential at the end, the appendix of the cards. It could be the wisdom teeth of the cards. I feel like this has the bones of the cards.
Yeah, this game it's got a very simple, like, chibi cartoony art style.
Mm-hmm.
It is visually it's pretty clean in a way that makes it easy to parse information, which is not always the case with these games.
Very not.
I think this game benefits from the little I played. It's fast and snappy.
It is.
And
it's pretty brutal.
To its benefit.
It can be pretty brutal, like
yeah,
blood and stuff, and it'll kill you fast if you fuck up.
Yes.
But I think that it's not the best presentation or anything.
No.
Of one of these games. And it also, I think it wears its influences on its sleeve.
Yes.
Some of these games, I think, really ascend to a point where they have their own unique style and feel. This one very much feels like, okay, so you took Slay the Spire, took a little bit of Dark Souls, and then you took a chibi art style. And Into the Breach.
They cite Slay the Spire and Into the Breach directly in the game description on Steam.
Yep. And it feels very much like those two games were put together, and it is effective, but that is why it is the bones of the cards.
Yes.
It is effective, but I don't think it ascends beyond its influences.
Yes. All right. Yeah, I agree. All right. Number 2, the second game on our list. Starts with a B. Ends with Alatro. Gino, I've heard of this game. This is popular and well loved.
It is.
We did a podcast on this already.
We did.
So if people want our full opinions on that, they can go back there. I'll say my opinion on Balatro has not changed since we recorded that podcast.
Still very good.
It's still very sharp. But how does it rank according to our scientific criteria?
So for deckability, I vacillate between a 4 and a 5. Which do you lean towards?
I think a 4.
I do too. I think I lean more 4. Why do you say that?
So I think because Balatro is inherently built around the deck of 52, the amount of customization and shaping you personally have is very much limited by what your starting deck is, unless you get very lucky with jokers and shop purchases.
Yes,
like,
and I think
eventually you can and will build around stuff, but at the core you are still using the deck of 52 as the baseline for all of your decks.
They did a very good job of making it so that there's flushes, there's suits that you
Yes.
care about, there are specific numbers, there's some jokers that'll make you care about face cards, there's uh the different planets, and you've got the different all the ways that you can upgrade the hands that you're playing,
Yep.
ways that you can upgrade the cards themselves so that the cards have bonuses on them. For a deck of 52, they've done as much to it as they
Yes.
possibly
They
could.
they have done, and that's why Balatro is approachable by
Yes.
humans, because more people understand poker hands than discard energy looping.
Exactly. So and its greatest strength is also the part where it's not going to ascend to a 5 in deckability.
No.
It is a game where you pretty early on need to figure out what the hell your build is, and you need to lean into it. And I would say also for the deck ability, and this will also apply to the rogue ability.
Yes.
There are multiple jokers and play paths that are just fucking traps when you
Yep.
get into the higher level play. There are some of them that just I have
They're
not.
funny gimmicks, but
Yes.
they're not gonna. You should not pick them if you're trying to win.
Yes, like there are some jokers that are like boost up your 2 pair, and yeah, there is a build where you can do 2 pair, and
You
you can,
you can try and make 2-pair work. You can make it work if you're lucky.
but it's a lot of luck. And so I feel like the moment you ascend in Balatro is when you realize the deck ability. It is figure out the handful of jokers that really pay off, and then pick one of them. Try to find one, and when you do, you can beat
You
most
build
runs.
around it.
Exactly. But there are a decent number of build arounds that if you go down this path, like I'm thinking of the hiker
Yes.
is one. Like the more you play cards, the more their value goes up. And you'd think, oh, if I get this early, I'm gonna get so many more chips from my cards. And just no, it doesn't scale fast enough.
It doesn't scale the
It
way
doesn't
you want
scale
it
fast
to.
enough. And so figuring out which of those jokers are traps is part of the game, but it lowers the deck ability a little bit. The
Yes.
rogue ability, what do we think?
I think this game, by benefit of being fast, like you can finish a run of Balatro in like 20 minutes,
Sure can.
depending on how fast you are.
Sure can. I think the rogue ability here.
There are a decent number of unlocks and weird stuff you can do.
Yep.
Um,
The alternate decks, I think,
you can
change the
get
game pretty
Geralt on your
fundamentally.
cards now.
Yeah, here's a deck that's only 2 suits. Here's a deck
Yes.
that has no face cards. Like those sorts of things change the game pretty profoundly, and they make it so that some of those gimmicky jokers are
Yes.
viable.
Yes.
So I would say the rogue ability is its strongest part. I would say it's a
I would
5.
say a 5.
That's the thing. That's the thing about Balatro.
There are people who have played this game for hundreds of hours. I'm not one of them, but I understand.
Am I one of them? One quick second here. Let me just check if I am one of them. How many hours have I played Balatro?
I've played 20.
Oh, you sweet summer child. I've played 69.
Nice. Well, you can't play anymore.
Nope, I can't play anymore.
Heart 5.
Part 5, also 5. Yes,
Yeah.
the sound, the look
The
of
game
Balatro.
juice, the feedback.
And things are going well in Balatro. The just ramping up of the speed and the little flames. Balatro feels like you've been locked in a Vegas casino floor in the best way.
And also someone slipped you something.
Yes. Jokers are now talking to you, and you're seeing
Yeah.
the code. So it has the heart of the cards. Balatro, clearly.
Yes.
Balatro,
All
heart
right.
of the cards.
It does have the heart of the cards. All right. Next one is one that I have played a little bit of.
Hmm.
And
Beneath Oresa, the game I have played for 46 hours. I've played this a good amount. How's about yourself? What's your count looking
I've
at?
played this for 3 because I got
Okay.
this when you picked it for the list.
Cool. Deck ability. This is an interesting one because Beneath Oresa, it is one of the most Slay the Spire of these games.
Yes.
It's very much here's a character and they have their own unique deck and they are going to go and fight enemies that are going to attack and you're going to know what attacks are going to do.
And,
It is
yeah.
very much just
There
Slay
are
the
a
Spire.
handful of neutral cards.
Not many.
Not many. And it's very much you are picking from builds according to the class, which I got no problem with.
Yeah,
That's probably safer for one's sanity than a entirely open.
Agreed. You don't want entirely open if you want to have synergies. But there's 3 classes, I would say, of characters with
Yes.
2 characters each. There's
Yes.
a class that are like how would I put? There's like a violent, punchy class.
Yeah.
There's a gun class, and then there's a like Space Knights class.
Yes.
And each of them have 2 characters. The violent, punchy class has like the Iron. Is it the Ironborn in Slay the Spire? They have like that.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah, they have the negative status effecty stuff.
Yes,
like
the self-inflicted damage stuff.
Yep. Self-inflicted damage, put junk cards in your deck that you can then remove and turn into extra power. They are very much like the Ironborn in Slay the Spire. The second one is the Gunslinger class, and they are kind of like the Silent. You know, they've got a lot of extra draw cards and like discard and do stuff. And then the Knight is kind of different. Like it is all about buffs and debuffs.
It is not the defect.
It is not the defect, and it is not the
adept.
The monk.
Monk.
So I feel like for deck ability, I'd give it a 3. Like it's got distinct play styles. The 2 different characters for each card pool also kind of makes it so that each of those card pools have a reason you would use some of them. Like there's one version of the punchy class that wants to be doing like big damage all the time, and there's one that wants to be self-inflicting negative status effects. And they're like meaningfully different in how they play and what cards they want from the card pool. And they each start with a different, basically an artifact that changes how they play slightly. So I would say it's like a 3. You know, there's 6 different characters, and they also, you don't just pick a character, you pick an assistant, basically, who goes along with you.
So yes, there's the secondary aspect of this where you basically pick a perk.
Yeah, and that secondary person has like perk tiers as you befriend them more and more and more. So you can kind of predispose your deck in different ways to take advantage of that extra character. The other thing that's a little bit different about this game is as you go down the different branching paths, like in Slay the Spire, you can sometimes pick like befriend my buddy more, or heal up. The choices are a little bit wider than a Slay the Spire. But yeah, I would say deck ability like a 3. It's not the most wide open one of these games. You're going to want to pick a min-max and then min-max it. Rogue ability. What did you think?
Yes. So, yeah, this game has a focus on positioning. It obviously has the 6 different characters, which gives you a lot of flexibility. Yeah. I would say there's definitely a decent... It's a little more tactically inclined in terms of, it cares about positioning and it cares about...
Order of operations really matter.
Oh, yeah.
In this game. Order of operations matters a lot.
I'll say this. When I play this game, it fucked me up. It took me a bit to grasp how it wants me to play.
Yes. And it also has, like, its difficulty increase mechanics. Like, when the difficulty goes up in this game, it goes up precipitously. It is one of the harder. It can be one of the harder games, which in this style of game can be annoying because a lot of times when the difficulty goes up, it just means you need to be luckier in what
Yeah,
cards you get
just
in your
have a
pool.
more optimal draw, basically.
More optimal draw, more optimal build, more optimal card pools. Um, I mean, I go between like a 2 and a 3, I think, for rogue ability. Like, if you want to play Slay the Spire that is a little different, I think it's got that. I think it's got these cool characters and everything. But this is a game that I feel is the closest to the grandfather of this genre
Yes.
of what we're going to rank today.
Yeah, there are a couple other games that I think are very you are riding on your influences, but with X. And this is very much Slay the Spire, but with X. And that X is it's got a much better presentation.
Yes, and that's where we'll go now. Do you think 2 or 3 for rogue
Uh
ability?
I'll take a 3.
3 it is. All right, now
Yeah,
for heart. This is a game. It's 3D, so it
yes.
looks a lot different than Slay the Spire. It also,
Yes.
because it is 3D, like when you hit dudes, they ragdoll, and that's
Yeah.
fun. The animations are pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else to call out?
I my sicko shit brain wants to say, actually, I just want to be able to skip the animation so I can keep playing faster. But that's not a responsible thing to say.
Yeah.
This game was cool and I would like to play more of it, but it's also not the highest priority for me.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Is Beneath Oresa, it's a good game. It has good presentation. But I think it's also a 3. I think it has the bones of the cards.
Yeah.
It is a solid presentation, well playing one of these games. I feel like this is the most average, one of the more
Yes.
average versions of these games. Not bad, not bad in any way.
Oh,
But just
there's some bad ones that none of us picked this time, but
not this time. No, we started with
not
mostly
this
good
time.
ones.
But there are some ones that both you and I played a bit of and went, ah.
No, this is the exact medium. This is the
Yes.
oh man, what is off the deep ends? This is the hybrid heaven.
The hybrid heaven.
Exactly. The hybrid heaven of Roguelite
A
Deckbuilders.
like, yes. It has it has some, it is solid, but it is not exceptional.
No, and it
I
also
guess
has
is
no
how I would
story to
put it.
speak of,
Yeah.
really.
It's got good, yeah, it's got a neat presentation, but
If you're gonna
but
be
yeah.
just mechanics, I want the mechanics to not just be Slay the
Yes.
Spire.
Yes. But our next game, I think you and I both adore this game.
Yes. The next game, Cobalt Core, which is a roguelike deck builder mixed with FTL, kinda.
A little bit of FTL. You are a group of furry space animals, and you have a ship in space, and you engage in a roguelike tomfoolery, and there is a distinct emphasis on the cards and the way they affect your ship subsystems.
Yes.
And so each character has a specialty that is their pool of cards. So you pick 3 characters. Of how many are there? Like 9? Is that right? 8 or 9.
Yeah. Yeah, once you unlock everything, I think.
Once you unlock everyone. But and so they each have their own, I would say, smallish pool of cards. But, you can do a lot with upgrades. And then you pick your ship, and your ship determines not only the size of your ship's hitbox, because there's a lot of emphasis on dodging enemy attacks, but there's also modifiers with that.
And weapon systems. So
And
like
weapon
your
systems.
ship where your ship has a missile bay.
Where
It's
are
gonna
your
determine
guns?
where the guns shoot, where the missiles shoot. If there's a gap in your ship and they shoot into the gap, it doesn't hurt you. There's only certain
Yes.
parts. You also will have vulnerable parts of your ship sometimes, where if it gets shot there, you take double damage, et cetera, et cetera. And you are positioning horizontally, like you're moving left and right. And you have a certain amount of free moves that you're allowed to do left and right, because your ship has just a certain amount of movement that it's allowed to do without cards, and then you have cards that allow you to move your ship more and stuff like that. And depending on which crew members you have, you're going to get more or less of those sorts of movement or shooting. Like one person's the gun expert, and so they have more shooty cards. There's a drone expert where you can deploy drones out of a drone bay, and those drones will just shoot automatically. You've got a shields expert who's going to up your shield super duper high. You've
Yeah.
got a pilot who can move your ship way more. And then you get weird characters later on.
The wizard.
Books, the wizard, who has
Yes.
his own mechanic, or cat.exe, which
Yes.
is a late game character. So I would say Cobalt Core deck ability 4 or 5. What do we think?
Let's go with 4.
It has a lot of variety. I think 4.
It has a lot of variety, but yeah, you are picking some combinations of characters. Just you should not do them.
They're better or worse, better or worse. There are some that like, hey, if you put the gun person with the shield person, so you have a balanced ship, that's pretty good.
But like the drone person, his entire job is filling the board up with garbage, which the wizard also does. And so there's a bit of mutual exclusiveness there.
Yeah, there's definitely characters that have anti-synergy.
Yes. Rogue ability, this game is very FTL with its events.
I'd say a 5 because
yes,
like not only do you want to mix and match these characters to see the different combos, this game has, and we'll get into it with heart too.
Yeah,
this game has story. There's
this
reason you want to
genuinely
keep
funny.
It's genuinely funny. Every time you beat a run, you get a little bit more of the story of what happened here to get you stuck in this time loop. You have to beat the game, I think, 3 times with each character to get everything.
Yes.
All out. And so there's a distinct reason to keep replaying the game. The game has events that are referential of the fact that you continue to keep playing the game. Unlocking the additional characters is fun. Unlocking additional cards is fun, and artifacts. There's enough depth of cards and artifacts and events to keep things fresh. I'd give this a 5. I think also this is, I think, a good distinction here. This is a game that you can play dozens of times, get all the story, and feel like you saw everything and be good. There's some of these games where there's just a treadmill. There's no end.
Yeah,
point,
it's just
right.
Okay, beat this until you get to escalation 20.
Beat this till you get to escalation 20, and once you get to escalation 20, beat it with every character 20 times. It's purely mechanical. This is a game where
this game lets you know when you can be done, which I appreciate.
I respect. It gives you a real reason to play it a lot of times, and then a real reason to go, okay, I did it.
Yeah,
Heart.
It does not overstuff itself. And then Heart 5.
Heart of the cards has it 100%.
It looks nice. The character work is genuinely very funny.
Yes, the music
they're
is
all
outstanding.
Idiots.
Why is the music so good?
Yeah, why is the music so good?
It doesn't need to be. Like when you fight the second boss, I think it's the second boss, and like it starts going hard on piano, and I'm just like, what, why?
You should, yeah. Oh,
Play
yeah.
Cobalt Core.
This is one of those games that I genuinely think people should just look at.
I don't think you need to like deck builders.
If you like the deck builders, this is one of those ones that I would like unironically, unconditionally recommend.
But I don't think you even need to like deck builders for Cobalt Core to have something to you. Like, I think Cobalt Core and Balatro, of the games we've talked about so far, like ascend beyond the genre and are just hard recommends if you like games.
Yes. I think the people should play more Cobalt Core.
Agreed.
Next one, do we want to do Fights in Tight Spaces or its sequel Nights in Tight Spaces?
I've played Fights in Tight Spaces.
Okay, then we'll do that one. So Fights in Tight Spaces is similar to Alina in the Arena, Alina of the Arena, in that it is as much about the positioning and tactical element as it is about your hand. And it's about learning how to play your hand in ways that allow for the most optimal outcomes. Which, by the way, you're like a spy. You're a silhouette of a spy guy. And you get thrown into what are basically very small combat arenas with some sort of objective. It's usually like, hey, survive for X turns, or defeat X number of enemies, or defeat the boss. And there are enough environmental gimmicks in a lot of these fights that you also want to care about those.
Yeah. And there are some cards that are like, this is a card you can only play that only really does anything if you play it last. This is a card that you have to do an opener for this card to do anything. This one, you can only do when you're next to a wall, or you can only do when you're next to a gap, when you have space near you. So there's definitely constraints to when you can play cards and reasons.
It is about positioning.
Yep. And the different classes you pick at the beginning will predispose you to wanting to do different things with your positioning.
Yes. There's the the class that is slightly more weapons oriented. There's the one who is I'm a big fuck you hit guy.
Yeah, there's the counter puncher who
it's
mostly defensive cards that do counter attacks when you get hit. In terms of deckability, though, I feel similar to Alina of the Arena and Beneath Oresa. Once you've got your class, you're just doing various levels of the thing.
There is no room for hybridization.
I don't think so. I think it's a 3. I think it's like you have the thing, do it as best you can.
You build towards that thing. And you pick cards that will help you with whatever thing you are focusing on.
So rogue ability.
I think this game is like weirdly fucking hard.
I do too.
And I think part of that is like I don't like chess puzzles.
Huh.
I like chaos. And I think there's something about a game where like there's clearly a way for me to make the optimal play, and I just need to like either put it in in an engine, or I need to just think 5 steps ahead. There's something about that with Fights in Tight Spaces and its sequel that I find that gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I think it's got more elements to it. Like Alina of the Arena, because it has the weapons, it has outs to if you don't get an optimal draw to still make something happen. Like there's usable items, there's weapons you can pick up and stuff like that. Fights in Tight Spaces very much feels like, well, I didn't draw the thing.
I drew a bad hand. I'm going to take a shitload of damage this round.
I'm going to get stabbed a lot in this part. And you can pull out of it, right? It's not impossible.
Yes. You can build around it, but it's a little more particular and precise in a way that I respect these games.
Yeah.
I find them harder to deal with.
And also, picking the different rooms you're going to get access to different cards or different buffs and stuff like that. It's very Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
No real twist to it. And I didn't feel super compelled to keep playing this game over and over and over again. Like even Beneath Oresa and some of these other games that I haven't played as much. Like I think I played Fights in Tight Space. Let's see, Fights in Tight Spaces. I have 6 hours in.
Okay.
as opposed to 46. So
Yeah.
even by this genre standards, this is one I've played the least because I kind of bounced off of it.
Yeah.
I would give it like a 2 or a 3
I'd
in
give it a
rogueability.
2.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of bounced off of it for as slick as it looks, and I think that will go to heart.
Yeah.
This kind of looks like what is that shooter that it only moves when you do?
Super hot. It's got
Kinda looks like
like a
Superhot.
very like strong contrast. Like everyone's a silhouette. But also all of the animations are clearly mocapped.
Yep.
So when you use the card that, I don't know, you slam someone against a wall or a table, it's real good.
It looks great. When you do a palm strike to someone's nose, it looks like they are hurt. When
And
you throw someone out of a window, and they die.
And then when you finish a round, you get to see it all played back in real time,
as though it was an actual fight.
Yeah.
Which I think this is an odd game where the rogue ability and the deck ability are not that high, but I feel like the heart is like
Yeah.
It's got the lungs or the heart of the cards. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got juice. It's got juice.
I'm gonna say
I would give it a 4 or 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna say it's got the lungs of the cards.
All right, the lungs of the cards.
Like
And
it's
speaking
essential,
of
but it's not
lungs,
quite there.
The next game on our list is Worse for You Than Smoking.
Luck Be a Landlord. Now this is a game about gambling to pay your rent, and the way you do that is you are assembling a slot machine. This is a game where you are picking different icons to go onto your slot machine, and the more synergistic those icons are, because Brayden, have you ever played a slot machine?
I try not to.
Good.
It would be bad
but
for me.
if you did, if someone were to force you to play the Pokemon, have you played the slot machine in Pokemon Blue or Red?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, there you go.
I got Porygon.
If you put the right symbols next to each other on a slot machine, they will give you bonuses. Like if you have 3 in a row or something like that. In this game, it's more esoteric. You sometimes will roll the slot machine and you'll have bees, and if a bee goes next to a flower, the bee gives you bonus money and the flower gives you bonus money because they pollinate.
If the bee is next to honey, the honey also gets a bonus. And if the honey is next to a bear, the bear gets a bonus.
And the bear eats the honey, and the honey gets
bear
deleted
consumes
from
the
your
honey,
wheel.
removing it from your wheel. Oh, God.
It's so good. So like the interactions are intelligent. They make sense. They give you a good number of different ways to build your slot machine. This is a game that I feel is much more about building a optimal build. You know, like once you have enough icons to fill up your whole reel, you probably don't want to add more.
Yeah, it's about building a machine, basically. And then the machine will play itself out, and the numbers will go up, and you, the player, do not necessarily have any real manual control over the slot machine once you pull it. So it is a drafting game. It is a pure drafting game in a lot of ways.
Yes, and there are artifacts and things. Like a lot of these games have artifacts. We haven't really talked that much about it. Artifacts, I would say, through this genre are static abilities that will impact your run, kind of regardless of what you draw. So they are kind of the stabilizer that allows your deck to function, even if you draw a bad hand. Luck Be a Landlord has some good ones that kind of allow you to manipulate the slot machine. But for the most part, you are just trying to build something that, regardless of what you pull, there's so much synergy that you're going to get paid off anyway.
Yes.
That's all you're trying to do. So for deck ability, I feel like it's a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
This is really fun.
Yeah, it is minimalistic, but because it is a pure drafting game. That is the draft. That is the game.
This might be our first 5 for deck ability.
Yeah, this might be a 5.
I think this is a 5. Like it is just, you are going to build this deck And I don't think there's actually that many like super viable strategies that are repeatable
Well, yeah, once you get to
on high
higher
level.
levels,
Um,
at some point you just need to
do the thing.
just focus on what works. But
Yeah, but it's
in terms of it is a game all about drafting, and it does that incredibly well.
it does, and
And I had to stop playing it.
Let me see how many hours I've put into Luck Be a Landlord. Oh boy, this is gonna be a bad one. 75.
God. So here's the rogue ability part. So there's no I wouldn't say there's any like you're not unlocking things. You're not it's just a simple escalation through higher and higher difficulties as you defeat landlords, which is the most important thing. I forget, do they add new types of symbols?
I don't think so. No,
I
it's
don't think
mostly
so. I
just
think they're just rare ones that are there are a lot of them. That's right. I got all the way to apartment floor 15 and then I think I lost my save
I don't
somehow.
know. I got to
think
the top floor.
Yeah.
And it's got some good, like you unlock additional artifact pools basically.
Yeah.
Like there's the anti artifacts kinda that
Yes.
they'll do an effect and then they'll actually upgrade your symbols instead of just sitting passively sometimes. So like they unlock more artifacts but not more symbols. So it does escalate, but it's not as much as some other games where there's like
Yeah.
literal unlocks. Um, but in
I'd
terms
give
of rogue
this a 3
ability,
or a 4.
this game you could play it in like 15-20 minute
Yeah,
intervals
that's
easily.
that's the thing about this game.
I would say it's a 4 because this
Yeah,
is
it's a 4 because you can just grind through it, man.
it's
Y-
the
It's
serving size.
bad. It
Yeah,
it's very bad.
in a good way. When we say bad,
And
we mean it is addicting.
yeah, yes, because it is so short and it is so
Punchy.
straightforward. It's dangerous.
Yeah. In terms of heart, I feel
It's
like this
very
game,
simple.
it's very simple. Its presentation's very simple. It has some heart in terms of like the symbols they include,
Yeah,
like the billionaire who gives you no money when you roll it, but it does give
yeah,
you money when you guillotine when you have a
yeah,
guillotine and you guillotine it,
yeah.
and it makes wine and cheese better.
Yes, that's right. And the cultists, when you have
Mhm.
more cultists, you get more money per cultist. But if you have an eldritch monster, they eat the cultists.
Or the pirate who can eat oranges, gold coins, and treasures.
Yes,
Um,
the 3 kinds of thing.
exactly. So like they're all very clever. Witches like cats and hexes and apples.
Yes.
Like great. There's cross synergies between fruit and poker hand symbols and stuff like that. Like it's good, but it doesn't have the presentation
No.
sauce that like Cobalt Core or Balatro or Fights and Tight Spaces. I'd give it a 3 on heart, and it's
Yeah.
mostly just like those design aesthetics. It's got the bones of the cards, but not much more than
All
that.
right.
Monster
All right.
Train 2.
The most recent game that we picked. The reason we picked 2 is just because it's kind of the same game as 1, but more.
1, but maybe
They
better.
Yes. Uh,
Uh,
so
Deckability.
Monster Train. For those of you who have not watched Gino's streams, Monster Train, it's kind of half tower defense, half deck builder. And you got your Hell Train. There are waves of enemies. You have to defend the waves of enemies. They keep going up floors, and you need to stop them from damaging your train's pyre. And there are fucking 10 different decks in this game because they have all of the decks from Monster Train 1.
Yep. And you are combining like
2.
monsters that you put in your train, and they, like you said, are almost tower defensy. They just do static things. And then you have cards you can play, and it is Slay the Spire rules. You got 3 energy.
Yes.
You can pay energy
Spells.
to cast
Yeah.
spells and do damage directly. And yeah, they try to make their way up three levels of your monsters, and then they get at your pyre.
Yeah.
Deck ability, because there are so many combinations of decks
Yes.
and guilds and champions, and the champions are a static character who you pick, who have one of three builds that you can unlock when you pick them. There's a lot of moving parts that make this very, very, very fun to mix and match.
Yes. And you've been going down the hole of trying to win with every combination of decks.
Yes.
And the fun part of that is learning how to either synergize those two decks or how to remove as much not anti-synergy as possible so you can eke out a win.
100%. It is like, once you get to the high ranks, it is figure out, okay, are there synergies between these two? If there aren't, which of these two guilds is better? And I'm going to try to just lean into what that guild is good at
and
as hard as I possibly
you can also
can.
pick Pyre Hearts, which is basically your starting perk. So one of them will make it so you draw an extra card if you play one card from both of your decks. And then there's there's the one that seems like the one that you should pick if you want to win, which is the one that just lets you gets rid of your starting cards and lets you draft.
Yeah, the one that makes it so that you draft even harder, and allow your drafting skill to win the day. That's kind of the best one I found. I am through, I believe, 3 of the 10 guilds, winning at highest difficulty with all combinations. Braden, do you want to know how many hours I've put into this game?
Let's see, because I think I probably have a similarly upsetting hour count.
I doubt it.
I have 122 hours in this game.
Oh, I have 118. We're close.
Okay.
Deck ability 5.
Yeah, 5.
5. Rogue ability also 5.
Yes. I feel like they could use a few more events.
I agree.
Which they said are coming.
And the events that they have added,
yes,
they are not especially balanced, I would say. Some of the events are just way better.
The Hellhorned, which were basically the red deck from Monster Train 1, which is like, hey, straightforward cards, do damage, get armor, hit hard. The Hellhorned they're not very good, Gino.
They're not, except they have the best artifact in the game, which gives every one of their units multi-hit.
Yeah.
If you get that one, the Hellhorned are incredible. If you don't get that artifact, they are pretty mediocre.
They're rough. They're hard to win with.
Yeah.
The Awakened, the Awakened, on the other hand, the Awakened are good with everyone.
Yeah, those are the Awakened is
Vine.
which?
They're basically a green deck.
Oh yeah, the one that heals your units, draws you lots of cards, gives you free energy and resources. Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Just makes things hard to kill.
Yeah, that one's really good. Hey, the Pyreborn, which are the new new red deck that gives you a lot of money, has access to a secondary mechanic that gives you extra money and artifacts.
And they have a status effect that makes enemies take more damage, just a flat damage increase from both spells and attacks.
Yeah, turns out they're really good. And some of the events too, there's one where there's this guy Dante who joins your party and he gets extra damage depending on how many curses you have in your deck, which if you're playing on high difficulty, you start with curses in your deck by default. And curses are like cards that if you don't play them, they damage you. And then if you leave him, he gets multi-hit for how many curses you have, which is great. And then he gives you an artifact if you keep him in your deck that makes it so that your pyre takes less damage from curses, which offsets his downside.
Yes.
And it's very easy to get him to hit 10 times every turn. And then if you buff his damage at all, he just vaporizes most
Monster
things.
Train is very much a game about finding a broken synergy.
That's all it is find a broken synergy and just hammer it.
It's not as honest, let's say, of a game as some of these other ones,
Correct.
But that's why I like it.
It's about dishonest play.
It's about breaking. It's
Yes,
not
it is-
about climbing or building. It's about breaking.
Like sequencing matters in this game, but you know what matters a lot more? Building a death machine.
Yeah.
Heart, I'm gonna say this is like a 4
Yeah.
because or a 3. Do you want to go 3 with it? I mean, it's Monster Train 1, and
Yeah.
like this is a game about the deck ability and
But
the
it does have
ability.
really good music.
It does. That, you know what? I'll give it a 4 because the music is way better than it needs
Yeah.
to be. It's got the lungs of the cards.
Yes.
Uh,
All right.
Rogue Book.
This is one that I picked, and this is the one that has Richard Garfield's name attached to it.
It does. Richard Garfield's Rogue Book. I put
The
almost
man,
50 hours
you know,
into
the
this.
man behind Artifact, my favorite Valve game,
and Magic the
also-
Gathering.
also Magic the Gathering. So, and you can tell, buddy, you can tell Richard Garfield made this game. Richard Garfield is a very smart man
Mm-hmm.
who thinks a lot about how games should be constructed.
Yep.
And boy, howdy, Roguebook says you are also going to think very hard about how a card game should be constructed.
I agree.
So, I guess to put it in perspective, Roguebook, you have 2 characters. You pick a pool of 2 characters, and those 2 characters are both your units and also your base decks.
Yep.
They're although there is a large pool of generic cards too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit more open and wide with how you can construct things, and the characters have multiple ways to build them.
And you are the levels in this game are floors, and you are
Yes.
basically using ink to reveal more and more of
Yes.
the book, the Rogue Book.
Yes.
And as you open up more and more hexes on this grid, you will find encounters, you'll find artifacts and items and stuff. So that is really, it is not the linear, like just pick a branching
No.
path like a lot of these other
There
games.
is consideration in how you are exploring how and what what fights you choose to take.
And this is definitely a game about synergies between these 2 characters. Like some of these characters have synergies, some of them don't. There are definitely stronger and weaker combinations of characters when you play Rogue Book. I would say the deck ability is like a 4
Yeah.
or 5. I think it's a 4.
I would say it's a 4 or 5 because there's a lot of complexity and a lot of things you can do.
100%. Actually, I'd give it a 5. Like, I think the deck ability, like, the nuance of this game is quite a bit higher than some of the other Slay the Spire likes.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, it doesn't change the formula in terms of you're playing cards
No.
like a Slay the Spire, but it does, I think, elevate it. It's one of the best
Yes.
playing ones of these. Rogue ability, though,
This
problem
game
with-
is a lot.
it's a lot, and my problem with it is that runs take an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours. Whereas
Yes.
some of these other games, you really don't want to exceed, I think, 40 minutes on a run. If you want these games to have good rogue ability scores. I'm sorry. I would go probably a 3 or a I would lean 4 because it's still very good. It's just
I would
it
also
takes too
say
long.
I have an issue with this, with how many options in this game are locked behind the meta progression.
Yeah, that's true. Also,
It feels like you have to grind out, and this is a problem I think with several of these games, not necessarily the ones we've been talking about, except this one, but some of these games do the opposite of good meta progression, where it feels like you need to grind out basic options
Yep.
to make certain decks viable.
Yep.
And this game definitely has a bit of that, where it's like the best, if you want some of the decent starting artifacts or cards for the characters, you just got to do a couple runs. And as mentioned, these runs are not short.
they're not short, and you need to do well in them if you want it to be only a couple of runs. So yeah, I would say rogue ability is like a 4.
Yeah.
Once you unlock all this stuff, it gets more fun, and if you're
Yeah.
willing to invest in this game, I think it is one of the more rewarding of these
Yes.
games.
I
But
think it is one of the more intelligently designed games. It's also it's so much.
it's a lot. You have to really commit to it. Um, part of the cards, I feel like this has the lungs of the cards. I think it's a
Yeah.
4. I think
Yeah.
it's got a lot going for it. It's got extra story elements than that these games don't always have.
Yeah.
I think there's voice acting, right?
Yes, there is.
There's voice acting, like the presentation's really good. The designs are Richard Garfield-esque in that they're not just, hey, here's a boss that has a lot of HP. Like the gimmicks are fun and
Yes,
creative.
the bosses have interesting, weird gimmicks.
So I think Rogue Book, it's a really good game. It's just you need to commit to it. It is the one that most benefits from replay and putting a lot of time into it. And I put
Yes.
in 50 hours.
All right.
Trials of Fire.
Trials of Fire. I recommended
recommended
this
this
one
one
to
to me.
you,
You afflicted
and
me with
you
this
did
one.
it for the main pod. And this game I feel like is the other example of, boy, this is a lot.
Yeah.
So Trials of Fire is it is a turn-based tactics game with deck building elements, much like
the Arena.
Alina and Fights in Tight Spaces.
Mhm.
But you have a party of 3 characters who are all different classes.
D&D style.
D&D style. Your cards are also based on your equipment. So there is an equipment aspect to this game.
Yep, and your
In
equipment
addition,
have stats and cards associated
yes,
with them.
your hand is not just the cards you draft. It is the equipment you're wearing. It is, in some cases, artifacts or, class-specific abilities. And also, it has hexes.
And when we say hexes, we mean it's a hex grid.
Yes, and also the overworld map is a hex grid, and there's exploration aspect to that in the same way as Roguebook. It is more free exploration. Yes. And so there's a bit of a balancing element between, like, I need to, get more experience for my characters so that we can, get better cards and they can get more HP. And I need to be able to have enough resources to defeat the boss.
Because at a certain point, you have to just turn and fight the boss, or else you run out of stamina.
Yes.
So deck ability, each of your characters has different pools, and there's rogues, there's wizards, there's warriors,
yes,
tanks, etc., etc. Each of them have kind of optimal, like a few branching ways to play them.
Yes.
That can be fun. And you have a party, right? So there's reasons to have combinations where you've got certain character classes. Like even the wizards sometimes have defensive spells because maybe you want to play a party without a tank.
Yeah.
But your characters have HP of their own, right? Like they can get killed. And if they get killed, their cards in your pool become dead. So I would say that there's definitely a lot of compelling reason to be like, I'm going to build a D&D party. We've got a tank, we've got a rogue, and we've got a wizard. Done. But they've got enough flexibility in there where you could go, I'm going to do a dodge tank.
Yeah.
And it's a rogue. Or I'm going to do an elemental wizard who specializes in earth magic, so they've got defense. Or there's necromancers who can like summon ads.
Yeah, you can throw junk creatures on the board, which you sometimes need.
Yep. I would lean towards like a 4 deck ability. I think it's a little rough around the edges. Like each of these characters, or a lot of them, there's combinations, but I think there's a roughness to the overall deck building.
So, yes, rogue ability, there are a lot of unlocks in this game.
Sure are.
Some of the classes are locked behind basically specific events or specific achievements.
Yep.
And this game, once again, does not mess around.
doesn't. No, if you don't know what you're doing, it will kill you dead very quickly. And also, there are, similar to a lot of these games, some of these characters have real good ways to play them and trap ways to play them.
Yes.
And that can be annoying if you just don't get the right pulls.
It's
Um,
yes, if you don't get the right pulls, or if
Equipment.
it's also a game where just like at some point, if you like lose a character at a certain point, you should just restart the run.
Yep, 100%.
There's no reason dragging out the suffering. And because it is turn based and because it's big enough, a run in this game is like an hour.
Yeah, it has a a big serving size too. So I would say Rogue Ability is like a 3 or a 4 here.
Yeah, let's do a 3.
I would go 3. Like
Because
this is
it's the issue of too much.
it's got too much. And then Heart, I'd say this has the bones of the cards.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, presentationally, I think it's very sharp and smart to use like little, basically the presentation makes it look like a tabletop game, and that's how they get around having to, make a bunch of models. And I think that's smart from a budgetary sense.
But in terms of presentation, it is also slightly shabby.
Yeah, it's a little bit yeah, it's fine. All right, and then the last game we're going to cover for this week,
Vault of the Void.
Vault of the Void, and I picked this one because this one, to me, is the one I've played most recently that feels like another honest man's deck builder.
Yes. I've played 12 hours of Vault of the Void.
Yes. Vault of the Void is not a game about finding a broken combination of cards and just riding that until you win. This is a game about good old honest deck building. And to start off, you have, what is it, 20? You have 20 cards in your deck, and you can freely remove all of them. You just need to have 20.
Yep.
And that's terrifying. But it's also honest.
Yes, this is a game about winning by inches and not miles. But it is very Slay the Spire-y.
Yes.
You've got X amount of energy, you're playing cards, the cards have synergies, you have enemies that you know what they're going to do.
Each of the classes has 3 baseline gimmicks that determine, how you want to build them. There are a decent number of generic cards in this game, which I think is for the best, because it means you will always have options in addition to your class-specific mechanics. So one of them, the cleric equivalent, you can basically build her where she is constantly using lightning damage, which chains together really well and basically exponentially increases damage if you can keep it going. And you can also get more energy that way. Or you can build her with thunder, and that is more of a defensive, like retaliation focused sort of set of abilities. It's smart, and the fact that, and the way like each class has a unique mechanic is smart.
Deck ability, I would give it a 3 or a 4.
Yeah,
I'd lean 4. It's good.
it's 4, but yeah, it's very much like, okay, you picked the bleed rogue, and yeah, you get all of the other cards, but you're gonna want to focus on bleed. You get enough other cards that you want to build an honest deck.
Yes,
you can't go all bleed.
You don't want a different.
You need to be able
to
take a hit.
Yeah, you need to have defensive stuff, but you can't be playing cards by the end of it that don't care about bleed. Like,
yes,
you're not going to want to pick the just generic damage card.
Yes,
the bleeding is what matters. Rogue ability.
Once again, I'd say this game is honest. It from the get-go tells you what the final boss options are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you what you can set it up in such a way. There are artifacts that let you know which like upgrades you're going to get from certain spots on the board. And because you have full control over your deck with runestones, which are modifiers that you can shove on a card. So, for example, the yellow one makes it so that every time you play that card, you get 4 armor. And so you can do what I do and just stick it on cards that either replicate themselves or cost 0.
Yep.
Because I've played card games before, you see.
0 cost cards are good.
Yeah. 0 cost cards are useful. You should use them.
So do we think 3 or 4? I don't think it's a
4.
5. 4. And then Heart.
It's a little simple looking.
It's simple looking. It's a very perfunctory.
It's very clean 2D portraits that are somewhat animated.
I think it's got the bones of the cards.
Yes. This is the other one I would probably recommend to people who want to try something that they haven't heard of. But just so you know, this is not a game about this is a game about winning fairly. And you can't it's not as much about finding broken synergies. It's really good though.
It is really
well
good.
designed.
It is really well designed.
And all of the boss gimmicks are really smart.
I think Vault of the Void is the card player's one of these. You know,
Yes.
like I think if you could appreciate, if you're a card game sicko, Vault of the Void is going to be your elevated Slay the Spire beneath the rest.
It's the hipster pick.
Yes.
It's the everyone's talking about Monster Train 2, but let me tell you about Vault of the Void.
Exactly. It is that. It is like, oh, Monster Train 2, you made an engine? Oh, that's super cool. Well, I won with 1 HP left because I played this 7-card sequence correctly.
Yeah.
And
it's very well designed and it's good, but it's also not very flashy.
No, it's one of these that just the mechanics are the thing you're here for, not the look and the feel and the flash and the sizzle. So we have ranked 10 of these. We've reviewed them for you. I don't know that do we want to do a ranking? Like an actual ranking?
No.
Okay.
I think it's funnier if we don't.
Okay. Well, there's 10. We will be back at another time when we feel like we've got another 10 to talk about.
At some point, I will put this spreadsheet on public viewing, just like all of our other spreadsheets.
Yep. But thank you, Brady.
Thank you, Gino. I also like card games. If Jeff was here, he would have burst into flame.
That's true.
If Chris was here, he would have said, I just don't like it very much. Cards.
That is our first episode of Ranking of Roguelite Deck Builders. Thank you, dear listeners. Reminder, you can get in touch with the show, Deep Listens Podcast at bluesky.social, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and Deep Listens podcasts at gmail.com, our email address. You can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. Until next time, peace.